Well, well, well. Look who stumbled in from the street.
Stumbled.
It's Northern Lebanon coach Chris George. Sir, how are you?
Great yourself. We're back in basketball season. It's exciting.
Can't be better.
Yeah.
Can't be better. I'm glad that you're here right now because I think a media day is perfect for a program like yours for a couple of ways. One,
Sure.
it helps with exposure, but also we need to know what the heck your roster looks like because you lost a 1,000-point scorer, and I mean that's going to be a pretty big hole to fill. So
Sure.
what's kind of been the off season like to integrate some new roles, and how's that all been kind of going for you?
Yeah, these last 2 years have been a big adjustment. 2 years ago we had 11 seniors, and then obviously we had Simon and Peyton along with them. Last year, then it was basically just Simon and Peyton coming back and a whole bunch of new guys. Huge part, like you said, 1,000-point scorer out the window. I don't really need to say much about Peyton. There was enough said. Simon Grimes, on the other hand, didn't probably get enough publicity.
Yes.
At times might have been our best player.
Yep.
We ran everything through him, honestly. He's 6'2" point guard, physical, really good, three-sport athlete. The kind of kid that just he creates for others. I think those are the best players in the league, the ones that are creating for others and making their teammates better. And that's going to be our biggest void, finding who's going to fill that role kind of in our point guard spot, who's going to create offense, who's going to make others better. We have a bunch of guys, I think, that are capable and want to put the ball in the bucket. But, playing together, getting better shots. For younger guys, that's always a transition to the varsity level. Working together, turning down good shots to get great shots is important. But again, I think the biggest thing for us is our creator. Who's going to make players better, who's going to create for others, and who's going to get us some really good shots.
Are you going to do what you've always done offensively, or are you going to maybe have to shake some things up to match your personnel? With the style you want to go?
Yeah, I would say the last 2-3 years we've been pretty consistent. We're going to look different this year for sure. We have a really good freshman class coming in, some good sophomores. So our youth is going to give us a little more depth. We're probably going to be a little more up and down than we've been, which will be more fun for the kids and exciting. But it's going to be different offensively, defensively. We still, obviously want to stay true to our culture, play the right way, be great teammates, sacrifice. And I think if you do that, if you have a bunch of kids that just want to play together, that's when you can overachieve. That's when you can start, winning those big games against teams that might have more talent, be better than you, and hopefully grow something here. I think over these next 5 to 6 years, if anyone knows anything about our younger groups at the middle school level, we have some really talented groups there. I'm excited. So we're really trying to build, a certain style of play and a certain culture that we think can translate.
Now, you're very active on Twitter, and and who knows if that's going to be around for much longer anyway. But
hey,
as long as that's still there, I like it because you show, like even yesterday, you guys had like a little extravaganza for the little guys and gals and stuff like that. I mean,
sure.
Has it been going a little bit better in the sense from like the little guys on to where, there is obviously a desire to want to play basketball in Northern Lebanon, and it's not just kind of like an activity, if you will.
Sure. We've had some great players come through. Obviously, the Light brothers were awesome, and that got a lot of younger guys going. He sort of got, given the baton to Peyton and Simon.
Right.
And now we're sort of, I think, passing it on to the next generation there. We got a lot of coach kids coming up. That's always a good sign. I look down at our travel teams, our junior high. There's a lot of kids there that have dads who were coaches and some really good parents, and we're really deep. We've got a lot of basketball kids. Again, I'm a big three-sport guy. They're also really good football players and baseball players, and we support that. But we definitely, I think, have a lot of kids that want to be basketball first and have a real passion for it. I think it's going to translate into a lot of success over the next 5-6 years. We've talked before about how you really have a young crop coming up that you really, really like. Why do you like your young crop so much? I mean, what besides just being like uber talented? I mean, there has to be something that Sure.
you can work with.
Yeah, and they have a competitive fire.
Nice.
Our practices. Our older guys are still our leaders right now. We have James here today, Colin Waller, 2 seniors, Riley Klinger, a junior. We have some other juniors that are going to get a lot of time, like Cade Erdman, Luke Schaefer, football kid. Colin Wolf, that they'll be our leaders. We're going to go as our older guys go, but our practices have been really competitive. Our younger guys are giving us a great look, and I hope that's going to make us better in the long run this season. Day in and day out, if we're competing, we haven't always had that these last few years to have a young group really getting after the older guys. Again, if you're playing that hard every day, it can only make you better on Friday nights.
Competitive depth, that's the name of the game.
No doubt. No doubt.
You got some new threads this year.
Yeah.
Why didn't we go with gold to match the walls? Come on.
Well, first of all, you're white at home, but that's a good question. I'm not sure you would have found the right gold to match that, whatever that is. Mustard. Yeah, I don't think that's a choice.
Sure it is.
That Under Armour or Nike give out the mustard yellow anymore. It's probably not in high demand. But they did gold before I got there, but it turned into like a fluorescent kind of thing. So there's been a push lately, like, hey, where's the blue? Where's the blue? So I think it looks good. We got some nice uniforms that'll hopefully last us for a few years.
Yeah. Last thing I got. Talk to me about your gym, please. Anybody that knows me knows I love his gym that he plays in.
Sure.
You knocked off Catholic last year.
Sure.
In fact, somebody kind of ralphed up their lunch on the baseline. It
It
was that intimidating.
Sure it was.
But tell me a little bit about, for those that don't know, to a wider audience, why it is such a trip to the dentist, if you will, to go to Northern Lebanon.
Well, it's a small gym.
Sure.
Obviously there's not a lot like that in the league. Columbia is a smaller gym. There's a few other ones. The drive there, we're on the north end. Everyone always complains about, Octorara is out in the middle of nowhere. Well, we're just like that for all the teams from Lancaster.
Right.
So it's a heck of a ride. It's a small gym, and it's got like the acoustics in there. Even in practice, if there's like 8-9 people in there, it's hard to hear. It gets real loud. So you could have a half-full gym, and it feels like it's packed. It's crazy in there, and I think that has an atmosphere on the kids. The mustard yellow probably helps. And our style of play, I think we're confident when we come there to play every time, and we've had success, but we may be getting rid of that gym. That's the rumor on the.
No.
I'll do my best to keep the mustard yellow, but I think the community's not in love with that color, so I'm not sure what's going to happen down the road there.
I think we need to have some speaks with upper management.
We have some kids on the team that I think their parents are involved, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, guys. Go up to a game at his place. You will not be disappointed. You might not, again, as he said, Northern Lebanon might be off the beaten path, but it is well worth the trip because they knock off some big dogs in there that you wouldn't think they might just by looking at the schedule. So, Coach, always appreciate it.
Great. We're hoping at some point to be the big dog.
I know.
At that point, but we're getting there. Yeah. It's a process.
We'll see now if you're going to be a big dog. I guess you need the big gym, right?
That's why we're doing that.
Yeah, don't forget your roots, though.
We won't. Thanks, Andy.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.